Hi everyone, this is Kylie, Chapter London. Today I'll be talking about finding a flat in London. House searching can be daunting, and it certainly was exhausting for me. I hope this video can help anyone who's planning to move to London. There are various kinds of housing in the UK. Terraced house, detached house, semi-detached house, cottage, bungalows, flats, mansions, to name a few. But today I'll introduce two types that are the most common in London. First is the terraced houses. A quarter of the English population lives in a terraced house. It's a very popular type of housing in the UK, and you have probably spotted these houses in the film Notting Hill. A terraced house is basically a row of comparable houses attached to one another by their side walls. Terraced housing first emerged in the late 17th century and continued to develop throughout the history across England. It shaped the character of places like London, Manchester, Brighton and Leeds. This type of housing was a solution to a rapid population growth due to the Industrial Revolution. These period buildings, dating back to Georgian and Victorian era with renovated interiors, are still prevalent in London up to this day. Now, when you're looking for a room in terraced houses, keep in mind that these are historic buildings remodeled to meet contemporary lifestyle. Depending on how old the building is, it may have problems with squeaky floors, water pressure, or soundproofing. Another common type of housing is block of flats. It's essentially similar to apartments. A flat is a living area that is self-contained and in one part of the building. There can be 1, 2 or 3 bedroom flats. But there is also a studio flat. This is a single room that serves as the living, the dining and bedroom space. This would be equivalent to what is widely known as one-room in Korea. Now, before starting house searching, you need to decide on where to live. First thing to consider is the transport zones. The London transport network spans 6 different zones which progress from inside out. Zone 1 is central London, and as you go further out, there would be Zone 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. These zones matter if you are going to be commuting on the tube, the overground and national rail services. Basically, the travel fare is calculated based on the zones. For instance, travelling on the tube from Zone 1 to 4 during peak time would cost £3.90p. while from Zone 1 to 2 would be £2.90p. Another thing to look into is the districts. London has 33 boroughs and you might decide on what areas you want to live in. Click on the link below, you can see government issued data on these 33 boroughs. When it actually comes to searching for places on a map, postcode is useful. It's an individual code assigned to specific areas of the city. Once you have identified the postcode of the area that you want to live in, you can easily search with the postcode in house searching platforms. There are a few platforms that you can look for properties: Zoopla, Rightmove, Openrent and Spareroom. These are all property searching services, but there are some differences among them. Zoopla and Rightmove list properties for sale or rent. This means that it will list the whole house or flat. Usually the agencies list properties on these platforms. Meanwhile, Openrent is a platform where the landlords directly list their properties. So it is likely that you will be signing a contract directly with the landlord without the agency. Lastly, Spareroom lists rooms. If you are looking for a flat sharing or a room in a shared flat, you should search in Spareroom. Now you can search by area, price, property type and number of bedrooms. Once you have a property that you would like to inquire on, you can send an email. But sometimes it's a lot quicker and easier if you just call the agency. After contacting the agency or landlord and receiving details regarding the property, you will want to view the property in person. During a pandemic and a national lockdown, this is a bit difficult. The agencies are very aware of this situation as well. So you can ask for a video of a property or arrange a live video call. Personally, I think this saves a lot of time and effort. When you do physically go to view the property, the agents will be following government COVID regulations, wearing facial masks and social distancing. In terms of house viewing checklist, of course there are numerous things to look out for. One of the few things that I find important to check is the walls, especially if you're looking into Georgian or Victorian converted houses. In this case, thin walls are added to divide the rooms, so the rooms could be less soundproof. You can easily check this by knocking on the walls. Also, if there is a heater installed by the wall is likely to be damp and mouldy. Another thing to check is the windows. If it's double or triple glazed, it would have better soundproofing and insulation. Also make sure all the windows open and close well. Great majority of houses in London don't have air conditioning, so it's crucial that you can open the windows and ventilate the room. Also, when you go to the property, turn on all the lights and make sure they are all working. If not, you may want to flag this to the landlord and replace it. Turn on all the taps in the kitchen and bathroom to see the water pressure as well. Lastly, check if all the appliances are working, such as the fridge, hob or kitchen fans. Turn them on to see if they work properly. Now, if you like the property, you would make an offer. If there are multiple people interested in the property, your offer may not be accepted. Each agent and landlord uses different application forms, but they usually require your contact details, occupation, date to move in, and the rental amount. If you are a full-time student, it is highly likely that you will be required to provide a UK-based guarantor or pay 6 months rent up front. These are the common cases, but some landlords may not accept full-time students at all, and some landlords may be more flexible. So regarding renting as a full-time student, consult with your agency or landlord. When your offer is finalised, you would be asked to pay a holding fee, usually a week worth of rent. By paying the holding fee, the property is taken off the market. Once the landlord accepts the offer, official application for the tenancy proceeds. During this process, you need to submit documents such as reference from the previous landlord, passport, proof of address, copy of BRP, certificate of enrollment, and so on. Finally, then you'll get the contract, and once you review and sign the contract and transfer the deposit and rent, you're done. This was my personal experience of searching for a flat in London during a pandemic. House search can be frustrating, but I hope you find this video useful. Thank you for watching the video. Please leave comments and questions below. See you next time. Bye!